Good morning, friends. I want to extend a warm welcome to you today. Everyone is welcome here. You are welcome here regardless of your age, your race, your income, your religion, or the gender with which you identify. You are welcome here regardless of who you love, who you vote for, the regrets that burden you, or the mistakes you have made. In this community, we support each other in the sacred task of becoming, celebrate the transcending mystery of life, rely on the transforming power of love. Here, we revere the words of the great teachers, such as Jesus, the Buddha, and Confucius. It is, however, the task of every UU to be their own Buddha, their own Jesus, their own Confucius. It is our work as a community to walk with each other along the spiritual pathways that lead towards happiness, compassion, and life fully lived. And while we are a safe harbor where there is solace and healing, we are also a launching pad from which we are propelled into the tumult of life to live courageously, justly, and lovingly. In this sacred place, we create the structures that lift up the downtrodden, set the captives free, and heal the brokenhearted. Here, we have learned that to be fully human is to be fully divine, and that with a little help from our friends, we can each tell our own unique story. Now, Joanne.
So things look a little different here today. We want to welcome you to a very special celebration of the pagan festival Imbolc, otherwise known as Saint Brigid's Day, or Brigid. Imbolc traditionally falls on February 1st, midway between the Winter Solstice and the Spring Equinox, and is not usually celebrated in our fellowship. Perhaps this is because it falls midwinter, and other than slightly longer days, the weather still feels a lot like it does around the Winter Solstice. However, for the Irish and the Scottish, Imbolc marked the beginning of spring. It is believed that Imbolc was originally a pagan festival associated with the lambing season and the goddess Brigid. When Christianity arrived in the British Isles, the festival was Christianized, and Brigid was kind of demoted from a goddess to a saint. Imbolc, or Brigid's Day, is now a national holiday in Ireland. We are so honored today to have two special guest speakers here to help us mark this holiday. Both Aoife and Lauren belong to the Moonfire Coven. They are both very experienced at leading pagan rituals, which honor the natural seasons of the earth and connect us to our deep ancestral origins. Together, Aoife and Lauren, with some assistance from Gretchen Oman, planned most of today's service and will lead us through most of the rituals. Unfortunately, Gretchen has a bad cold, so she couldn't be here. She'll be joining on Zoom, but she was very instrumental in the planning and gathering of the materials, and we want to thank her for that. Everyone present, including children, are invited to actively participate in today's service. I will allow Aoife and Lauren to more fully introduce themselves as they lead us through the service. And again, thank you both for joining us today.
So joining us today on Zoom, we have June, Vicky, Gail, and Leanne, Gretchen, and also Sophie and Derek. So welcome all on Zoom.
And now let's take some time for important announcements. Do we have any announcements today that need to be emphasized? Oh yeah, first potluck, first of the month potluck. So if you are a visitor and don't know about our of this tradition, please stay anyway. We'll always have plenty of food, so stay and eat with us. Get to know the congregation a little better. And after the service, we are going to have a circle talk about 15 minutes after everyone gets their plates of food. You can either bring your plate of food in here and take part in the circle talk, or you can stay out there and just chat, whatever you feel like doing. Are there any other announcements that should be emphasized? If not, let's continue with our service with Rosie Ruggless, who will light our chalice. Rosie.
We light Um, we light this chalice to be warm in the winter as a community together.
All right. Tell us why we are here today, Priestess of the Healing Well.
Today marks the midway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So we honor the goddess Brigid, who is venerated for her protection of the hearth and the home, the arts, blacksmithing, and healing.
Tell us who Brigid has inspired and why.
Well, she has inspired many traditions from the British Isles to Mexico to Brazil, whether it's Dia de la Candelaria, when people gather together to make tamales or hold a festival of lights. Towns in Europe keep fires burning for their 3-day celebration of Candlemas. The Feast of Purification is also another instance of Brigid representing the return of the light. As Oya, she is the fierce warrior of the Yoruban gods, and her feast day is February 2nd.
On this day, we light the hearth fire to keep us safe and warm for the remaining winter, and we light candles to remind us that the sun is returning in full force at the upcoming equinox.
High Priestess, it is time to cast the circle. And we let the fire and the incense make sweet the world. Father, be thou adored.
So it's a special incense that we made just for this ritual. Thank you. Exactly. A lot of frankincense in there. All the corners. All right. By the air that is her breath,
by the fire that is her inspiration,
by the water that is her blood,
and by the earth that is her body.
Great goddess Brigid, queen of queens, we do summon, stir, and call thee up to aid and guide us in these works of art. Thee we invoke. Thee we invoke. Thee we invoke. Brigid is welcome, Brigid is here. Brigid is welcome, Brigid is here. Brigid is welcome, Brigid is here. So everything is cast. I don't know what we had after calling the corners. Oh, perfect. All right, so we have a couple of poems and prayers to share to Brigid. A lot of these are very traditional things that I grew up with my grandmother from Ireland. Brigid has kind of always been a sacred patron goddess to my family. We always had a permanent Brigid altar around the home, and Imbolc was kind of like our Christmas. It was our big holiday to get together and share everything. And a lot of these poems and prayers of what's been passed down, edited, and added to by the coven. Yeah.
And over here. That's perfect. This is the triple Brigid invocation. Bless us, O our goddess, that we shall stay warm, that we shall not be without light, we shall not be hungry, that we shall not thirst, that we shall have strong shelters, and they shall not falter. We shall have secure fences and secure, strong tools. We shall travel in your light to guide us safely to our destinations. We shall have companionship, we shall have love. We shall be kind and pure of heart to those who share our space. No infamy shall bind us, no ill will spoken shall slay us, no fire shall overtake what is ours, no floods shall drown our properties. We ask you blessings on our houses, our homes, our lands, our property, and our covenstead. O sacred fire against darkest nights, burn for Brigid bright. Inspire us, O our goddess, that we shall endure and overcome, that we shall maintain, we shall help others do the same. We shall create, build, and complete. No dream, no wish, no honor shall escape our wills. No abandonment, no sudden change, no crisis shall limit us. For we fortify ourselves with your muse, your fire of inspiration, your cauldron of purification, and your flame will rekindle us in our darkest moments. For those who work with their hands, keep them nimble. For those who work with sacred words, keep their thoughts flowing. For those who work with light and color, keep their eyes ever discovering. For those who work with the people, let the needs of the people ever prevail. For those who give care, grant them the rest and the care that they need to continue. O sacred fire against darkest nights, burn for Brigid bright.
Protect us, O our goddess, that we shall not be harmed, we shall not be injured, we shall not be enchanted, we shall not be cursed, we shall not be owned or sold, neither shall our power leave us. No earth, no sod, no turf shall cover us. No fire, no sun, nor moon shall burn us. No water, no lake, no sea shall drown us. No air, no wind, no vapor shall sicken us. No glamour of fairy shall overtake us. No hand shall rise against us. When it is our time to depart this plane to the next, it will be under the mantle of you, our goddess, under the protection of the Holy Maiden, our beloved Brigid. O sacred fire, against darkest nights, burn for Brigid bright.
This is the one that we're doing, 135, but you can follow along on your screen, and I'll do the same. Sorry? Yes, please join in us. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to. Wake now my vision of ministry clear, brighten my pathway with radiance here, mingle my calling with all who will share, work toward a planet transformed by our care.
Thank you. So now we're going to do the candle lighting and the well ceremony. So basically what this is we're going to bless all of the candles, and then there'll be a moment for each of you to come up and select one and light it, and then set it afloat with whatever prayer or offering or anything that you want to share. By the holy waters of Brigid's wells, we bless you with purification by water. When you are in need of Brigid, light your candles. Whoever would like to start. Yeah, I mean, there are 2 bowls, so we can do a couple. But...
If you have something you'd like to say, we'll pass the mic down.
Yeah, absolutely.
For spring on its way.
Yeah.
Would you like to share something?
No.
He said, for spring to come. Would you like to share something?
Happy full moon.
You want to share something? We'll take this one.
Thank you for being here and showing us other paths. Thank you for this wonderful church, for healing in the light and joy.
Yay. Bright blessings.
It's a trick. Should have practiced before.
I did it. To the hope that burns inside of us.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just light them when they're already in.
Yeah. We'll try this and see if it works one time.
And this little one sometimes works good too.
Thank you for this beautiful day and the clear roads.
Do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah. So this is a fairly traditional, at least Moonfire altar setup. So we always have some kind of offering, typically wine and cakes or any kind of bread, something like that. And then, oh yeah. And then we have symbols for each of the elements. So we have water for water, salt for earth, incense for air, and then the charcoal disc for fire. So combining all of those things together is what makes that beautiful cleansing energy and pulls everything together. And then we have the athame, which is just kind of a tool to help direct energy and draw the boundaries of the circle.
Kind of like what you would imagine a magic wand to be. This is the athame.
Anyone else want to come up and light a candle? We still have more of it.
You light one for the seal? We'll light one for the seal too. He needs a candle. And we will light one for everyone at home as well. Oh, yep. We are lighting a candle for everyone who's chiming in through Zoom. And anybody else that is not here and that is on our hearts and or minds.
Come and allow the warmth of Brigid's hearth to embrace you. Allow the light of her flame to guide you. Allow the love of her blessing to protect you. And if nobody else has, you can come up later if you think of something and you want to add a candle. But we'll move on to our. Oh yes, would you like to share? Okay.
I had the great privilege of traveling to Ireland about 26 years ago. And I was on a escorted luxury coach trip. And our guide was phenomenal, Marion. And she stopped at a little spring that had a hollowed out place. And it was a shrine to Brigid. And it was such a memorable thing. We all took a sip.
very good question. So Abridged cross is an ancient symbol. Christianity has kind of claimed it now, which is fine. We will share. But it's a symbol of protection. So every year on Imbolc, you would weave a new one to hang over your doorway or over your windows, and you would burn the old one in the hearth fire. And it's just a way of renewing that protection and Brigid's blessing over your home. So if you're doing reeds, right, if you're doing reeds, you're going to want a good length because we're going to cut it up into pieces. And then it's a pretty simple process to get started. Yeah. Nope, the pipe cleaners are just the right length. Then you're going to start with one single one, and this is going to kind of be the main post. And then you'll take your second reed and fold it in half. And then that gets placed right through the middle. And then basically the idea is that you keep turning and adding new pieces, and it builds up a square in the middle. I'll say the reeds are a little dry, so they might be a little crispy, but that's fine. And then I always add it to the left. I don't know why. It's just how I was taught. And then basically it's just the pressure of adding more as you go around the square holds them together. And then at the end, we'll tie the ends. So anyone that would like pipe cleaner or reed, come up and grab some. It just depends on how big you want to make it. Typically, the square in the middle is the smallest part. So I usually will do maybe like 6 or 7 like individual pieces around just to get like a nice square in the middle. I mean, one good like yard and a half length should be fine to make a small one. Yeah. Yes. Yep. And that's going to be the total length. Yeah. So they just go down and then turn across again. And then you just keep turning and adding to the left. Yes, I do have red thread. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, let me grab a couple of the pipe cleaners to show you. So you're going to pick one that you want to be the starter. Red is Brigid's favorite color. Yeah. Brigid is the goddess of your honor today. She's the maiden of spring. Yep. And then you'll take hold it back. Yeah, that should be good. Yep. And then you'll put it right in the middle and just hold it right there at that point. And then you're going to keep doing that. So you're going to keep finding your next one, hold it in half. Yeah, goes right across the middle. So that one just stays that way, and then you'll turn it, and then you'll have your next one in that same direction. Yep, so I always add it to the left, turn, add to the left.
So while can everyone hear me? The people on Zoom, can they hear me? Okay, good. While everyone is finishing up their projects, Joanne has given me permission to tell a Brigid story. Now, I've always been a big fan of Brigid the goddess because, among other things, Brigid is the goddess of increase and renewal. And so back in the days, well, let me go a little farther in the story. How many here are familiar with the windows at Notre Dame, the big windows underneath the dome? Yeah, they're like about 15, 16 feet wide, and they're what they are, they're in the shape of a Celtic cross. Well, I just happened to have the job of putting trim on those big windows back in I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so when the dome was remodeled. And I was sitting with a friend of mine who was well, for lack of a better term, a fundamentalist Christian. He pretty much thought that there was only one way to the holy, and of course I was always taking the point of view that there are many ways to the sacred dimension of life. It's just that, and not every way was for every person. But at any rate, we were putting the trim on this circle, the big circle of the Celtic cross, and I said, Jeff, do you have any idea what the circle in the Celtic cross is, what it represents? And he said, no, I suppose it means like unity or something like that. And I said, no, as a matter of fact, according to a Catholic priest friend of mine, it is the vagina of Brigid, the goddess. So at any rate, he didn't believe me, but it's true. That is so. That's my story about Brigid. It's a lovely. And I've been a big fan of hers. But recently I was in Egypt, as you know, skipping church, and I had a chat with a very lovely young Muslim woman who told me that she was on a mission. That she was on a mission to help people realize that Allah was really one God. It was the God of the Christians and the God of the Jews, and that we should all just start to get along because we were all children of one God. I said, well, I appreciate that, but I am part of a religion where we believe that there are many ways to God, or to holiness, or to the sacred dimension. And I said, I'm a Unitarian Universalist, and she became quite fascinated in our religion. So we had quite several quite lengthy chats about us, but about this particular way of seeing the world. And during one of the chats, I said, well, your mission is to help everyone realize that everyone makes it into paradise who believes in the one God. I said, what about the pagan folks who believe in many gods? And what about the Buddhist folks who don't believe in any God at all? Do you think they also inherit the holy, or inherit the sacred dimension of life? And she could not go that far, could not go down that road. But she was young yet, who knows, maybe someday. So at any rate, now that we are mostly wound up with our projects, and I thank you for those very delightful. I have a one I made out of pipe cleaners, and Joanne said it was really good. So I just said, no, I do nice work. So let's now let's take a time to do a little meditation. And this is a meditation that's a visualized meditation. So let's, if you would, please just take a deep breath and let it out. And if you would, if you're not still working on your projects, close your eyes and visualize yourself walking along a path. You are traveling through a forest, and as you walk, you notice that the trees are covered with the vibrant hues of autumn. There are reds, oranges, and yellows everywhere. A few leaves have fallen on the ground beside you, and the air is cool and crisp. Stand for a moment and take in the scent of fall. And now you may stand for a moment and take in the scent of fall. Okay. Now, please be seated. As you continue down the path, you see the sky getting darker as the wheel of the year turns. The air has become more brisk and the leaves are gently falling around you. Soon the trees are bare and there is a crunching sound beneath you. When you look down, the leaves are no longer bright with autumn's colors. Instead, they are brown and brittle, and there is a light touch of frost on them. Winter has arrived. Breathe deeply so that you can smell and taste the difference in the air. The darkness is full now, but above you there is a full moon lighting your way. A snowflake falls in front of you, drifting down ever so slowly. Soon, another drifts down, and then another. As you walk further, the snow begins to fall heavily. The crunch of your feet on the leaves is muffled, and soon you can't hear anything at all. A blanket of pure white snow covers the forest floor, and everything is quiet and still. There is a sense of magic in the air, a feeling of being in some other special place. The real world has vanished with the sun, and all that remains now is you and the darkness of winter. The snow glistens in the moonlight, and the night is cold. You can see your breath before you in the moonlight air. As you continue through the forest, you begin to see a faint glimmer of light ahead. Unlike the silvery light of the moon, this is red and bright. You are beginning to get colder now, and the idea of warmth and light is promising. You walk on, and the red light draws closer. There is something special about it, something of relief and change and warmth. You walk through the snow up a steep path, and the snow is now up to your knees. It is becoming more difficult to travel, and you're cold. All you want, more than anything, is a warm fire and some hot food and the companionship of your loved ones. But it seems that there is nothing but you and the snow and the night. It seems as though the light has grown closer, and yet is still unreachable. Eventually, you give up. There's no reaching it, and you just keep walking through the snow. As you come over the hillside, though, something happens. The forest is no longer surrounding you. In fact, there are only a few trees left on the side of the hill. Off in the distance to the east, the sun is rising. You continue on the path, and the snow fades away. No longer are you walking through great drifts. Instead, you are on a muddy track, crossing an open field. In the meadow are tiny buds. Grass is peeking up through the dead brown earth. Here and there, a cluster of bright flowers appears beside a stone or beside the path. As you walk, the sun rises higher and higher, bright and orange in its glory. Its warmth embraces you, and soon your night of cold and darkness is forgotten. Spring has come, and new life abounds. Flowers and vines are beginning to grow, and the earth is no longer dead and brown, but vibrant and fertile. As you walk in the sun's warmth, you realize that winter has truly left you, and that you are renewed and reborn once more. Now, meditate on what sort of abundance you are looking forward to in this season. Think about what you will plant in your own garden and what new life you will bring forward. And now let us meditate in silence for a moment or two more. Amen. And now Aoife and the one will release the corners.
Right, so we're going to close the circle real quick. So we're going to consecrate the offerings for Brigid. As the athame is to the vault of the sky, so the chalice is. So the athame is to the vault of the sky, so the chalice is to the wine dark sea.
They bring
Bring
forth
forth
blessedness.
Consecrate this offering with the spirit of the Lady Brigid. O Queen, blessed Brigid, bless the spiritual food unto our bodies, bestowing upon us life of our Lord by health and wealth, and strength and joy and peace, and the fulfillment of love that is perpetual happiness. So mote it be.
So mote it be. May you never hunger.
Fair Brigid, triple goddess, we invite you to stay and make merry with us this day. But leave if you must, and we bid you hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell.
This way, right? Yeah. By the earth that is her body, we bid thee hail and farewell. No, water. I did yours, you do mine.
Okay.
Water.
By the water that is her blood, we bid thee hail and farewell.
By the fire that is her inspiration, we do bid thee hail and farewell.
And by the air that is her breath, we bid thee hail and farewell.
O sacred fire against darkest nights, burn for Brigid bright. Hail and farewell.
The circle is open, but unbroken.
Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
We extinguish this chalice, but let the flame go with you.